Hey, what is up guys, I'm Exteria, and in this video we're going to be talking about the new items that will come out in patch 14.5. If you're wondering if any of the old items will be replaced, the answer to that is yes. Starting off with our first item, the old Guinsoo's Rageblade. This item allows you to keep stacking attack speed every time you auto attack. As you see here in this clip, if you look at the attack speed stats on Kindred, it just keeps ramping up for every auto she does. The item that's going to replace Guinsoo's Rageblade is Guinsoo's Rageblade itself, but it works differently. In the new version, it's like Archangel Staff. Instead of auto-attacking to gain attack speed, you just gain attack speed over time. This is actually really good because this means that if a Sejuani stuns your unit, you still gain attack speed no matter what. The question is having double Guinsoo's Rageblade worth it then in the future? Only time will tell with that, because as of right now, I do not know. Next up we got is Runan's Hurricane. For those that don't know what this item does, essentially it's just an extra hit, meaning that you have a yellow orb that's behind the unit, and it shoots out a bolt with every auto attack that unit does. And the item that replaces this item is Kraken's Fury. This item essentially is like the old Guinsoo's Rageblade, but instead of getting attack speed per auto attack, Kraken gives you attack damage for every auto attack that you do. As you see in this clip, if you check the Kindred stats, her physical damage just keeps increasing every time she autos. Next up we got is Redemption, and this item has been different every single set. In set 14's case is whoever's holding the item, they gain an AoE healing aura within 1 hex around them, and whoever gets healed also gains durability, meaning they take less damage. This item will be replaced with a different item of one that we are already familiar with. Is an item that used to be an artifact, which was Anima Visage, but now a craftable item as Bear's Visage. This item allows you to gain regeneration for every second. Essentially, it's the same thing as it was before, but now we're able to craft it. So does this mean that it's not an artifact anymore? And the answer to that is yes, indeed, it is not an artifact at all anymore. Next up we got is Guardbreaker, and for those that don't know what it did before, this item allows you to gain damage amp if you hit a unit that has a shield. In this clip, you see that Nidalee popped her Bloodthirster, which gives her a shield, and Kindred hit the shield, and we gain damage amp from that. In patch 14.5, it's still Guardbreaker, but it just works a little different. Instead of hitting a shield to gain damage amp, now you gain damage amp for every time you crit. So this means that when you build Bran with Guardbreaker and Jewel Gauntlet, is even better on him now, since this allows you to gain damage amp without looking for a unit that has a shield. So I predict that this item would probably be slammed a lot because this item, for what it gives, is actually very useful. Next up we got is Statikk Shive, and for those that don't know what this item does, it's basically an item that every 3 hits, you shoot out a lightning that hits around 4 targets, and you shred their magic resist, meaning it lowers down enemies' magic resist. This item got replaced with Void Staff, and what Void Staff does is whichever unit is holding this item and they cast an ability, and if the ability lands on a unit, that unit will be magic resist shredded, which is basically the blue icons you see here. This item would be good on units such as Morgana, as you see this clip here, because her ability lasts forever. This means that they're shredded for a while. Now, does this mean that Void Staff is worse than Statikk Shive? I would say yes, mainly because Statikk Shive can hit basically the whole board, and you don't need to position in a certain way. But with Void Staff, you're gonna have to position whoever's holding this item next to your main carry so that your main carry can hit whatever units that is shredded. Essentially, it's like the example of playing Aphelios as your main carry, and he has his BIS items, which is double Guinsoo's Rageblade and a Gunblade. Since he doesn't have any armor break, you're gonna need someone that has either A, your main tank with Even Shroud, or B, your secondary carry, for example Xayah, with a Last Whisper. This means that you have to position Aphelios next to Xayah, since she's going to break armor and Aphelios can do more damage than him. But if you position Xayah on this side, her breaking armor across the map from Aphelios is not going to affect anything. So this means that the old version of Statikk Shive, like say for example Ziggs with Statikk Shive and then Bran, our main carry, on the opposite side of the map, this would be very beneficial because your secondary carry is on the other side, so this means that if Bran dies, at least Ziggs can do extra damage on the other side. But with Void Staff now, you have to position Ziggs next to Bran because you don't have Statikk Shive anymore, and it cannot hit the whole board, and Void Staff is like the Last Whisper idea where you have to put the secondary carry next to the main carry so that Bran couldn't one-shot with the debuff that Ziggs give. So in a way, it's a little bit worse, but it's still useful either way. The last craftable item we're going to be talking about is Sterak's Gage, and this item basically is if you hit a certain threshold of HP, this item will pop, giving you more max HP and more attack damage. In patch 14.5, this item got updated to giving you, instead of max HP, it'll give you a big shield. So this means that this will be pretty good. If you have to build it as a tank item, this would work as well with that. This item doesn't really give you attack damage when the item pops, but the base attack damage from the item itself is a lot. This number will change on the live server. Kind of reasons why I didn't talk about certain stats of each of these items because they're not going to be the same when it comes out on live. Now for the new artifacts, which I did not record because I was too lazy to keep playing the game to find these items. First up we got is Statikk Shive, which is now an artifact item instead of a craftable item. Don't worry about the stats, but essentially it gives AP, attack speed, and same thing like the old version, every 3rd attack, it deals magic damage based off the holder's ability power. So this means that this is really good on AP units such as Twisted Fate, because he has Archangel Staff and you throw Static Shiv on top of that, he'll be basically one-shotting the board. But the catch is, unlike the old version, this does not magic resist shred the board, but it does huge amounts of damage. Another new artifact we're going to be talking about here is Flickerblades. Essentially, this item is the new Guinsoo's Rageblade. It gives attack speed, it gives AD and AP, and like I said, Rageblade style, every time you auto attack, you gain attack speed. But there's also a bonus to this item, unlike Rageblade, where for every 5 auto attacks, it also grants you attack damage and ability power. So this item is actually very OP compared to Guinsoo's Rageblade. The last artifact item we're going to be talking about here is Titanic Hydra. And this item essentially is the replacement of Renet's Hurricane, but for close range. The reason why it's for close range is because it gives health, it gives AD, and also gives attack speed. This item is basically the same thing as it is in League of Legends, where every time you auto attack, you deal as much damage as your max % health. So this means that if the unit is holding this item, has a lot of HP, you'll be doing a lot of damage. So it's really good for like bruiser units or like fighter melee units such as Neferi and probably Zed. This item is also AoE, so this means that you can hit multiple targets. But yeah, if you really need an example, just think about Titanic Hydra in League. Now, the reason why I didn't talk about any specific numbers or stats of each of these items is because of this sentence here, basically saying that the numbers will change when the items hit live servers, which is going to come out around May 28th. So if you wanted a date when this patch is going to be live, there you go. And that is it for everything you need to know about the new items that's going to be coming out in patch 14.5. Let me know in the comment section, what are your items that you're going to be looking forward to? Until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.